Do you think they believe that it's worth it? And this is just Young Thug, because I think Young Thug, the documentary on Young Thug is going to be one of the craziest ever, because the guy that came into the rap game kind of like, I don't know if that wearing picture dresses. Is real, like some guys wearing dresses, like blowing kisses, like extra sus, right? This guy ends up being like one of the biggest gangsters in the game. Like, think about everybody. He beefed with the game. He
at least
beefed with.
Was.
I mean, this guy's ordering hits on YFN Luch, telling people if I didn't like what you did for your mother and your kids, like I'd have you killed. Like nuts stuff. And now he's sitting, and he seems to be taking it perfectly fine. Like obviously he's not happy to be in prison, but he's chilling. And you know, he's like, damn, these people are telling on me, and he seems to be holding it down. I legitimately think that he's willing to sit down. Because, this is theoretically speaking, if there was anyone that he could tell on, that I believe people would want information on, it would have to be Birdman. Because they were allegedly involved in the tour bus shooting for Lil Wayne. Yeah. So if he wanted to sell someone out, I'm pretty sure the federal government would be happy to look into Birdman.
Didn't they let out the guy that shot at Wayne in that incident as
yes,
well?
Roscoe. Pee Wee Roscoe.
Ooh,
he had gotten like 20-something years,
yeah,
and then something happened where he got released like a couple of years later.
Do they care about like one measly shooting that was because like a rap beef as opposed to like taking down a criminal organization?
Yeah, but they can take down the criminal organization. Young Thug can get out for taking out Birdman. That's like top of the food chain.
Well, you can only get a deal if you snitch on somebody, if you flip on somebody above you, right? And I think Thug are basically in the YSL organization, there isn't anyone above Thug, right. And they want Thug because he's supposedly the kingpin and he's flexed on the Atlanta police for years. They obviously hate him and they hate that he's rich and doing his thing, but like, it depends, like, do they have something good enough on, but like, are they happy enough with Birdman? I feel like they want Thug. I think it's personal. I think, you know, Thug is in the community in Atlanta flexing on all these cops all the time. Bro, I feel like they want to put Thug away and make an example of him, but you're right. I think the only person that above him on the food chain would be Birdman. And you know what? There's been a few stories about Birdman that I could believe that Birdman is on some kingpin shit, but then also I think he's smart enough to not really be involved.
Where is Birdman from?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
Okay, so this is Atlanta DA. This is a Georgia case.
What I'm saying is, let's say Young Thug is convicted. I don't know if this is somebody, we got a lawyer in here for sure. Somebody please let me know. That's state government, right? Let's say he's convicted for a state crime.
Right.
Federal can precede states or can oversee state stuff.
Right.
So let's say he's like, hey, look, goes to the federal government. He's like, look, I've got information on, what's his name? I've got information on Birdman. I'm pretty sure the federal government can be like, hey, look, Atlanta, Georgia, look, you know, you've got this little thing here, but we've got bigger fish to fry. So I'm pretty sure they could get Young Thug out, the federal government.
Yeah, probably.
If he's going to tell on Birdman. But I don't know. Birdman's, to me, has always seemed like he's had a lot going on. Respectfully, within music, but Birdman's just always been a shadowy figure. Especially Birdman's brother Slim. Circling back to Young Thug, my question is, do you think Young Thug's sitting there, let's say he gets 20 years or whatever the case, do you think he's sitting there in the cell and he's like, you know what, that was all worth it. I lived an amazing 8 years of being rich, now I got to do my 20, or do you think he's like, damn, that was not worth it?
I wonder, man. I often wonder, like, what does Thug think sat in that cell? Because it seems like he was a complete drug addict before he went to jail. They threw him in jail and he had to detox off that shit. He probably hasn't been thinking straight for years because apparently he basically lives on a diet of like lean and Cheetos.
Didn't his liver like give out?
His girlfriend, Jerica Carley, had said in an interview, I think this was in 2015 or 2016. I didn't even know if he was lying or trolling at the time, but he said something along the lines of, oh, I don't eat food. And then his girl was like, yeah, there's sometimes he doesn't eat for 3-4 days and then he has to go get IVs. He just gets IVs instead of eating. I was like, these guys got to be trolling for attention. But I legitimately believe it because Young Thug looks great now. Like, he looks healthy, and he's been in prison.
He looked like a junkie before, like, let's be real. And didn't he get caught with a bunch of meth? Like, bro, I could believe he's not eating and taking meth for 4 days and recording these songs. And bro, just listen to Thug's music. You're like, bro, this guy ain't even all there. Like, let's be real. You know, I feel like he probably at this point, this is just me speculating, but like, I feel like at this point, Thug is probably thinking like, damn, like, you know, that supposed murder that had happened 2015, that was before he was really big, and it seems like really that's sort of the worst crime of the case, right? And he went on to have this amazing career afterwards, and I think he probably thinks, shit, like I could have just not had this guy killed, not had people shoot at YFN Lucci's mom, not tried to have Lucci killed in jail, and just had my successful music career. But I think he got carried away on this, like, I'm the kingpin, the big gangster, I'm Big Slime. And, you know, hey, I haven't been in that situation, but I can imagine if you got an ego and you're in that situation where, you know, you're a millionaire, you can have anything you want, you can have any girl you want, you've got all these dudes around you ready to slide for you. You know, should we stab Lucci up? Yeah. Like, you can just get removed from reality, and then add the drugs to the mix. Like, you know, the dude was just living this fast life, and I would imagine he probably regrets it if he did do that stuff.
I want to know how he created, like, the infrastructure for YSL, the label, to become such a big, like, it's one of the most successful artist-run labels, if he's on drugs the entire time.
I think it's these people like Lyle Cohen, or who's the guy? Is it Kevin Lyles?
Lior and
So you
Kevin
think
Lyles.
he's just
Yeah.
like the face of it, and then other people handle it in the back end.
Well, 'cause-
I feel like Thug is a good somebody who connects.
I think it's the music. Mainly, he kind of handled the music and the cosigns, really. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that I kind of can't even look at Gunna properly for, because people gave a lot of flack to 6ix9ine. But these guys had already, like, 6ix9ine did wrong, I believe that. However, 6ix9ine, they were already, like, robbing the guy trying to kill him, or kidnapping him trying to kill him. If he sat there in prison, do you think they were just gonna be like, hey, bro, we really appreciate it, you held us down? Or they're gonna try to kill him in prison too?
Facts.
So these people arguably robbed him. I don't really believe the whole shoddy, like, banging his baby mom thing. I don't believe it.
There's been no evidence of that.
Yeah, I don't believe that. But still, let's say they did you wrong, right? Young Thug has only blessed Gunna. If you can't do just 5 years for what Young Thug's done for you, like, come on.
Facts.
That's just greedy.
No. You know what? I'm a clap back on that, because I think he gave him a lot. But at the end of the day, Gunna is talented. He would have been a star anyway. He didn't really sign up for this gang shit. As far as I know, Gunna wasn't out there sliding on people and sliming people. He probably didn't even want to get the slime tattoo and do all this shit. He just wanted to get his music released. So in a way, I kind of understand him snitching, because it's sort of like, bro, I just wanted to release music. Like he said in his plea, he said, like, you know, I got into this, I'm upset that my talent got hijacked to be part of this gang. And I know everyone's on his case, but, like, I kind of believe that. Like, Gunna doesn't seem like he was sliding on people. His music wasn't really even about that. His whole thing was like, I take drugs, I sip lean, I'm fly, I wear nice clothes and jewelry, and I'm just, like, spaced out dude.
I don't have them on me. I don't have them on me, but I remember looking up some bars from some Gunna songs, and he's talking about, you know, we could have some hits, he sent some people on you.
Yeah,
and the thing
true.
is, he knew who Young Thug was.
King Slime.
If we knew who Young Thug was and what he was getting into, Gunna in Atlanta definitely knew what Young Thug was on. And he decided to link up with him and, you know, get shaking and moving. So he knew what he was doing. So that's why I can't really listen, so you don't think Gunna should have just took a plea deal for 2 years and then just...
But you know what? The feds are moving smart on this one, because they know that they had to flip Gunna. I mean, like everybody has been saying, this Alford plea, or whatever they call it, from Gunna, this is the first time anybody official inside of YSL has admitted that it's a gang, right? Which, when I did my video on Thug, I did a part about Lucci's case, and in Lucci's paperwork it says YSL, Young Slime Life, is a street gang in Atlanta. But that was the only thing I could find anywhere on the internet that called YSL a gang outright. So now Gunna has made this statement. That is quite literally the only acknowledgement of it as a gang from the inside. So I feel like that makes a huge difference. And I don't know, like, I guess even if Gunna's on songs talking about sliding, like, I don't know if Gunna wasn't really ganged up to begin with. Like,
or
yeah,
at
Gotti,
least
all those guys.
Gunna has to not be the first guy to fall over.
But I guess, you know,
Maybe he was just the most publicized, because I feel like there were people who snitched first.
Nah, they would have gotten them, like, because all of this stuff has been public. There's videos of the people in the courthouse.
But weren't there things that came out like that 2 years ago? People were already snitching.
Those were probably just informants, though, at that point.
Okay, yeah.
you know what I would say though? I think the prosecution, obviously they're smart, because they seem to be doing a good job on this case as far as, like, you know, making good chess moves against Thug. And essentially, I feel like the weakest link is the person that's got the most to lose. And behind Thug, who is the main target, Gunna probably does have the most to lose. I mean, Pushin P was literally like only a few months into last year or whatever, right? Like
March.
Number one song. He was at the pinnacle of the music industry. Pushin P was everywhere, right? So Gunna was living this lifestyle independently, doing his own thing at the top of the charts. He's not trying to go and sit down in jail for 5 years. Like, let's be real. You know, he's trying to get back to that Pushin P lifestyle, and I kind of understand. I'm not a street dude, so I don't really get it. Like, obviously, I wouldn't think to be snitching on my family or like turning on people, but I'm also not out here committing crimes and killing people. So it's like it's really hard for me to relate, and I kind of see where he's coming from.